Okay, everybody. Hey, welcome to week 3. Is this week 3 of this challenge? Fun little story. Back in 2015, Jessica Heffley hosted a Make It to Maui Momentum Challenge group. And just similar to this one, there was a bunch of us in there, right? Doing all the assignments that she was having us do. And a whole slew of us ended up going Emerald in that next year. And so that was so fun. And I love the accountability piece. I love just the kind of the up leveling of being accountable to someone besides your upline. Not that we're accountable to our uplines, but you know what I mean? Like when it's someone else that is more successful than us comes in of their own accord, because she doesn't need to host this for us, right? She's very successful. But she wants to see, she sees a big vision, right? So she wants to help all of us be even more successful. And so I am filling in today, collaborating, I guess we should say, because she's on a trip and I had offered before this even kicked off to collaborate with her. So I'm really excited to be on with you guys this morning. And I guess one of the things I wanted to come to you guys with this today was to help you vision cast higher for yourself and to dream bigger. So this business, like this industry or this business opportunity, is like there's so many facets to it, and it's not just about the do. I mean, a lot of this is about the do, right? We know, but in order to continue to see momentum, in order to continue to see growth, you not only have to goal set, but you have to dream big. And you have to like get things on paper, get things visual for yourself to get it out of the abstract into the concrete, into the physical. And I'm a huge believer in writing down your goals, making things visible. It says in the Bible, it says to write the vision and make it plain. Write the vision and make it plain. And so I just want to encourage you guys today to expand your vision, to think bigger than you've ever thought before. I was in a conversation on Sunday, actually, talking with one of, I guess he's technically a level 2, but he was just saying that he was telling his wife, like, we need to think bigger than, just trying to get out of our 9-to-5 jobs. And so I want to encourage you guys to think bigger. Think along the what if lines. One of the taglines when I first started Plexus was, what if this could change everything? And when you start to ask yourself questions, it's almost like your subconscious mind starts to think in other ways than it has before. Because sometimes what we do is, like, in life, we just get like bogged down with the daily, mundane, everyday things that have to happen in order to make life move forward for ourselves. So it's almost like we're walking down the road like a little 2-year-old kid staring at our feet. And we're not looking up to be like, oh, actually, there's a whole nother path over here that we could pursue, right? Or, oh, this opportunity could provide so much more than we can even imagine if we'll just commit to it. But I think that's the thing, is like out of fear, out of concern for like, will it last? Is this stable? Like out of almost maybe a comfort thing, we would almost rather like be in our cozy little comfort zone than get uncomfortable, dream bigger, think bigger, and act bigger. So what if in your life you're able to say yes more than no? And I didn't really think about this when my kids were little, because I controlled like everything, right? But as they get older, they start to have desires and wants and needs and want to do, fun things or enriching things or adventure type things. And what if you could be the yes parent more than the no parent? Because I mean, there's plenty of things that we have to say no to, right, as parents. But what if on the optional things, we can actually say yes, because we have the time and the resources to be able to say yes? I remember a long time ago listening to a training, and the lady that was speaking was saying, if time and money were not factors, what would your life look like? What would you drive? Where would your kids go to school? Where would you live? Like, think of the possibilities of what that could be. Okay. And that's very personal to you. And, I was talking to a friend yesterday, we're just kind of processing about homeschooling. We were making pesto because I had a bunch of fresh basil in the garden. And so we were talking, and it's in between, like, disjointed conversation, right? Because we both have a bunch of kids here, but we were just talking about oh, I totally lost my train of thought. Hang on. Oh, we were talking about homeschooling, and I said, you know what? It's kind of like birth. Like, you can have people, like, support people to come alongside you, to help guide you, to help support you, like, as you're having that baby. But, like, ultimately, you're the only one that can bring that baby into the world, right? And it's similar, like, for me, like, homeschooling is the thing that's, like, on my brain, because, like, if I've chosen to that path, like, there's no savior coming in for me to, like, pass it off to. Like, I'm taking that responsibility on myself. There's no one coming to rescue me, right? Obviously, that doesn't mean we can't pull in other resources, and, when we need to, like, we can outsource. But when you're responsible for something, right? When you have taken on that responsibility, and the same goes for business. So, like, in our Plexus business, you have all the tools, all the resources, all the community, the support, everything. But at the end of the day, like, it comes down to you creating what you want to create. And that's the beautiful thing about this opportunity, is, like, we get to create what we want to create. Nobody's dictating or telling us, like, our quota for the day, which is amazing. But on the flip side of that, because there isn't, like, a quota or some sort of, like, baseline accountability, typically, then it can kind of be this side thing that just falls by the wayside when we lose a vision for it, or when life gets busy, or when other things crowd in as, seeming priorities. And so I just want to help you up level your vision for what this can be. And I heard not too long ago, and I totally agree with this statement, that network marketing is the American dream. There are so many high paying jobs where, like, these high paying jobs, you're basically a really, really, really well paid employee. Yeah, some of these, yeah, I don't want to step on toes, but it's interesting when you think of, like, what actually creates time and financial freedom. You could have the financial piece, but if you don't have the time piece, that's not the American dream, in my opinion. And I wanted to encourage you guys that you need to be looking at this. If you're, like, my vision for this group specifically is that you guys are the next upcoming gems and jewels in Plexus, gems, jewels, and diamonds in Plexus. And so we're speaking to you guys as leaders, and as not as 5-year-olds, but not as 15-year-olds, but as mature adults that can take the bull by the horns, figure it out. I mean, I remember my dad years ago was saying everything's figure outable, and everything's easy once you understand it, right? And so I want to encourage you to be thinking bigger vision than direct sales. Okay. So sometimes people have come into this opportunity with direct sales background, or a specific sales background, which is great because you have more skills than, like, someone like me had when I came into this. But we essentially have two businesses within our Plexus businesses. So we have the direct sales piece, right? The customer part. We're helping people get started on products. We're filling the bathwater's coming in the bathtub, right? Every single month we bring new people in. And then we have the network marketing side of this, where's the team building side of it. And sometimes what I think happens is people come in without much of a vision. A lot of times, I mean, I feel like in Plexus that for whatever reason, like, a lot of us came in just for products. And so we were kind of like, fun. Oh, these products are amazing. Like, they're working. I'm going to just naturally share. And so naturally and organically, a little team has built. Sometimes you can naturally, organically grow to a very, some pretty significant size customer base, right? Just by sharing naturally, and then they share with friends. And so it's this thing that has kind of this opportunity has allowed kind of an accidental business of sorts for some people. And that was me when I came in. I didn't necessarily, like, have a business brain and join for the business. Oops, can you guys hear me? Says my internet sensitive. No one's jumped in. So sorry. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, but anyways, I want to give you the vision for being a business owner and owning it. Like, you have this opportunity with Plexus, and heck yeah, it's sales. Heck yeah, we're selling stuff. Heck yeah, we're building we're building a team. And the building a team part of our business is what will make you exponential amounts of income, exponential opportunities for growth, and exponential friendships, and a lot of fun. And I want to put on your brain that you need 3 leader legs, like diamond leader legs. Like, if you're thinking big vision, big picture, financial freedom, you need 3 separate diamond leader legs in the baseline. And so I want to call your brain up higher than probably it's ever thought before. And sometimes that can feel, and maybe not scary, but just like, how in the world is that going to happen? I remember being there. I remember when I first started thinking, I knew I could get 20 people on the products. I wasn't sure that anyone would do what I was doing, though, with sharing. Like, would people actually post on social media? And I found out they do. They totally do. And I'm going to quote my dad again, but he has said this for years also. Your vision dictates your action. Your vision dictates your action. And so whatever your vision is, that's dictating like the actions that you're taking every single day. And so, and you don't accidentally slide into success. I think we all know this, right? But just good to be reminded. And so I want to encourage you to put on your business hats, to put on your business glasses. And when I say business, like, it doesn't have to be something not fun, something unfun. You can have a blast and an amazing time building a business, but it takes intentionality and care. And I think sometimes we come into this as, like, for me, small town little homeschool mom with a bunch of little kids, right? Not necessarily not necessarily organized, not necessarily systematic, not necessarily thinking bigger vision, right? I started to see like the window open up for what this could be for us. And it was just a tiny piece at a time. And so it evolved, right, over time, which is totally fine. But I want to encourage you guys to be intentional and have that intentionality of care over your business, because the stewardship of that is going to grow in proportion to the intentionality that you take with it. And just like most things, except for weeds, they don't organically grow. They're like, it's 100% us creating and getting creative. So the moment you stop getting creative in your business, you're going to see kind of either a flat line or a decline. And I would encourage you to keep innovating and keep getting creative and keep pivoting in your business. And this is while you're looking for leaders, while you're finding leaders, while you're developing leaders, right? And eventually you can get to the place where your business can run without you if it needs to. And just like, if you, like, some of you may garden or farm, or maybe you own like a brick and mortar business. Sometimes I think that when you've had that kind of perspective coming into something like Plexus, there's just skills that you've gleaned, perspectives that you've gained to help you get even, like, I don't know, be more successful faster in something like this. But I want to just use those analogies, because your garden isn't going to grow without you planting the seeds, like good things in your garden, right? The good plants, the vegetables, the fruits aren't going to grow unless you plant the seeds. Same with, like, if you had a dairy farm, you can't just let those cows sit there. They're going to be wanting to be milked at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. So like that consistency in your business. Or if you had a boutique, right? If you had a brick and mortar business where you got to open the door every single day for the customers to come in and check out what stuff you have. And so I just want to focus our minds on like what we actually have, and encourage you guys to get a vision for what you would love this to be for your family. And I can't create that for you. Jessica can't create that for you. You get to create it for you, which is super cool. So I want you to be thinking about that this week. I want you to be praying about that this week, because this opportunity takes forethought. And it takes planning and preparation in order to be successful. A couple of things that I had written down, just a couple of like action steps that are really, really important in our business. And as I talk about these, make sure that you kind of put a star by something that you feel like you might be a little weaker in or less consistent in, because these all build into the whole picture. So, because if you leave out a certain ingredient of the recipe or a piece of the puzzle, right, it's not going to be a complete whole picture. And the time that you invest in each of these areas or categories in your business are going to pay you an ROI, a return on your investment. And so the first thing would be, well, these are not in any particular order, but I wrote down number 1, post, number 2, network, number 3, events, number 4, conversations, and number 5, learn, read, and grow. And so to make it super easy, if you're struggling with posting every day, go in the rally chat. Rally chat, rally chat, rally chat. Get your teams doing the rally chat, because there's 4 things posted in there every single day. Something for you to learn, put in stories, post, and what was the 4th thing? Whatever the 4th thing is. So it makes it super, super easy to source content. You're not having to search around for things, right? So posting every single day. And the more relational that you can be in your posting, and the less transactional, the more effective your posting is going to be. Okay. But done is better than perfect. And so I tell people all the time, if you're slow or not consistent because you're overthinking what to post, what to say, how to make it perfect, how to make it always original, stop it. Just get something posted daily, because that's going to compound, and that consistency is going to totally, you're going to reach more people that way, because it's marketing. We're marketing. And this is a very unique time period in history where, for network marketing, where we don't have to like only host events or only be in person with people. Like, we have the opportunity, like we have these social media platforms where we can be like talking and sharing about what we love, and the products we love, the business that we love, and reach the masses that way, which is cool. But you got to do it consistently, because only like 10%, I don't even know the statistic, but very few percentage of the people in your newsfeed see your posts at any given time. The way you get more views or more eyes on what you're sharing is to get more likes and comments on it, right? Because that helps boost the algorithm in that way. So anyways, okay, so posting. Number 2, networking. I think networking might be even more important than some of these other things, because if you're not consistently networking all the time, everywhere you go, you're going to pigeonhole yourself. I'm not saying you can't be successful, but the network that you have built prior to coming into a business like Plexus is absolutely essential. And if you don't have much of a network before you started Plexus, you definitely need to cultivate it now. And it's not rocket science. It's just the consistency of doing it and the awareness to do it when you're out and about. And so look up. I realized when I started Plexus, I was going to have to be a little bit more like my mom. We've always accused her for running for office, because she would meet people everywhere she went. She would meet people in the elevator and have them invited to like Thanksgiving dinner. Or, I mean, we've had men from Ghana that she met at Hobby Lobby that had never experienced a traditional American Thanksgiving at our Thanksgiving table, like the next week. And so anyways, fun story, but you got to get in connection with people. You can do it online, finding Facebook groups. You can also do it in your area. And I was just talking to David Ambrosetti when we were getting ready to leave Hawaii, and he was saying that he was at a conference and they were talking about how important it is to get your face out there, get connected with other people that are in your area, that are in business. And it's not weird, it's normal. Like, it's normal business to talk about your business, to pass out business cards, to connect with other business owners. And so think about like the Chamber of Commerce, think about networking events in your area, the Rotary Club. Like, there's events in all of our towns, or at least big cities close by, that host those events. And it's like, it's the thing is, it's not like one networking event is going to make or break your business, but it's the consistency of doing them, right? And of meeting more people in your area. And it's the long game. You got to have the long game in mind, because people that you meet now, or people that you met 5 years ago, like, you never know when those conversations are going to come around into a Plexus conversation. And I was talking when we were in Maine, hearing the testimonies at that event that we were at. My friend Darcy was saying that she met Jamie in line for the ski lift. And they were like, hey, what do you do? Hey, what do you do? And I think Darcy was maybe a gold at the time. And Jamie had her own, I think she's like a pelvic floor physical therapist, women's health. I don't know. Her specialty is in that arena. And so, she had a core of clients and health and wellness, right? And so they got to chatting. Jamie joined Darcy's team, and Jamie was Darcy's first diamond. And so you just never know. It could be someone that you meet in a random place like the ski lift line, you know? So don't forget to make connection with people everywhere you go. And if possible, connect with them online so that you can continue conversation, right? Because you never know where those things are going to lead. Okay, number 3, events. So I gave you guys homework to get a sip and see scheduled. That is so important to be hosting events every single month. And the beautiful thing is there's some online events already hosted, so you don't have to do all the heavy lifting all the time. However, it's good to host your own events, your own personal events sometimes. Or maybe if you feel like that's a strength of yours, do it consistently, right? But we have the Sunday night opportunity calls and we have the Thursday little messenger chats. Those 2 things, rinse, wash, repeat. So easy peasy, right? But I want to challenge you guys to get something on the calendar. You could do your own personal sip and see launch. We do these like probably quarterly now, but we'll do like open house at our house, and we'll just open our house up, invite, like at this point, I'm like, I don't even know if like local people are going to come, like non-Plexus people, but it's, it's open for our team to bring their potentials and their friends. Sometimes what we do also is we go to people. And so you could also host a sip and see for like a level 1 that's wanting to grow, and you go to their house, you share your stories, let people sample the pink drinks. I have a video on how to host a sip and see, super simple. Just keep it very simple. And you want everything that you do to be duplicatable so that anyone that joins your team feels like, oh, you can do that too. You can totally do that too. All right, conversations. Number 4, conversations. This goes with the hundreds list that we made. Conversations, conversations, conversations. This is so essential. You can't post your way to diamond. And sometimes I think people have like a wrong expectation, or that they're doing something wrong because they made 5 posts and nobody liked or commented on them, or they've reached out to 5 people and all those people said no, or none of those people even responded. That is normal. Welcome to network marketing, right? I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but sometimes it is helpful just to hear it and rehear it and to hear what's normal. Like the response rate that I get, if I'm going to message 100 people about our opportunity or about our products, at this point, I would say I would probably get, I don't know, maybe a 10 to 20% response rate. That's normal. And so 80% of people don't respond, but it doesn't mean that they're not watching and that they won't look at my posts closer, right? Because I reached out and I planted the seed. So, and then number 5, I wanted to encourage you guys to be leaders are readers and leaders are growers. And so who you are when you start Plexus is not the same person that you're going to be in a year or 2 or 5 or 10. And it's really important to learn the skills of network marketing because they're learnable skills. And you want to have like the bigger perspective as you're building your team, right? And it's also going to put bigger ideas in your mind. So you'll have more to say and more to share when you're talking to a group about the opportunity, or you're talking to your team and you're training them, right? You want to be filling your brain with big ideas, with good ideas, with network marketing skills, right? So here's my current list. Okay. I have another stack on my nightstand that's at least 3 times as big on parenting and marriage. So you got to learn, you got to be willing to learn, change, and grow. Exactly what to say. Highly recommend. I'm going through this. I went shopping on my own shelves. I found the Zig Ziglar book about selling, so I'm going to read that one. Build to Last. If you have not read this book or listened to season 1 of Keith Callahan's podcast, highly recommend. You need to be like, you have got to have listened to or read some basic network marketing books. Okay. So I just wanted to make a little plug for learning, and it doesn't have to look pretty. It could be your Audible, like when you're on your way to pick up kids from soccer practice, like pop it on when you can, right? Or maybe like 2 or 3 minutes before you totally fall asleep at bedtime. So I just want to encourage you to do that. You're going to be paid in proportion to your personal growth. Like, I know we talk about personal growth, but sometimes I don't think people get it. Like, they don't realize, like, we all have a way that we come off to people. And some of us might have more skills or more, I don't even know, charisma than others, but it can all be grown and worked on so we can get better at it. We can get better at what we say. We can get better at what we do, right? We get paid in proportion to like the network that we've built by default or by intention, right? We're getting paid in proportion to the value that we add on social media and the value that we create. And so I think if we have a perspective that we're coming to social media, we're coming to the world with value to add versus just to suck, just to consume versus create. It's a different perspective. And I've been talking to we talk to our teenagers about this quite a lot. And that when they're on media, they're on social media specifically, like be mindful of not just consuming, because that will lead to a lot of not good things, even like anxiety and depression, all that. If you're not creating is just so important. We were created to create. Okay, and then we're also paid in proportion to the people that we serve. And I just wanted to remind ourselves or each other that there's two sides of the token, right? There's our goals, right? We set our goals. We have our booklets that we're working from. We have our leader retreat goals, right? Quick little plug for these resources. If you have not printed them, you need to. You've got to track your progress. You've got to be consistent with the conversations. And these two little resources, you just pick one, I guess, but they're both really, really good. I can drop the links if you don't have those and you don't have them printed out yet. So we have our goals on one side of the token, and then on the other side of the token, we have who are we serving? And I really want to cast the vision that we're here to serve. We're here to steward this opportunity. And yeah, we're getting compensated. Yeah, we're getting paid just like any other business, right? In the world, right? There's not wrong to get paid for a service that you provide, that we're serving other people through this opportunity. And the unique thing is in network marketing, typically we're going to people. We're initiating more with people than probably they are with us. Maybe you have such influence that people do come to you. But I would say in large part, we're initiating that initial conversation. Now, are we creating the need? No. Statistically, 7 out of 10 people are struggling with gut health issues. They don't even know what to do about it, right? Statistically, so many people are in debt. So many people have just instability in their life economically. Like, it's crazy. But the cool thing is, we're perfectly positioned because in economic downturns and just the shifty, I don't want to say shady, but shifty instability of the world, the election year, all the things, having another income stream is never a bad idea, right? So, okay. I do want to open it up for quick, like from some coaching and or questions, because I want you guys to feel like you have your questions answered as we move forward on this. But I did want to remind everybody to get there to do the homework. So protected plexus hours need to be popped on your calendar and screenshot or take a picture of it, pop it in the comments of the homework 3 post. Message all your level 1s and invite them to earn the Christmas cash. This is not necessarily inviting them to work a business with you. I sometimes think that conversation drives people away more than it attracts people. Some people are looking for a business opportunity, but not everybody is. And so I think just asking like your level 1s that are having great results or starting their products even, you can be like, hey, there's Christmas cash on the table this month. Like, you get fast start bonuses plus Christmas cash. Like, it's really incredible, really crazy. Just for, inviting a couple of friends to do this with you, would you be open? Just asking if they're open to learning more about it. Not even that they want to do it, but that if they would be open to learning more about it. And then if they say yes, that's often the question I think we have is, okay, I'm scared if they say no, but I'm also scared if they say yes. And so one thing that really helped me was learning the acronym PLLP. I talked about this all the time, but in case you forgot or you have never heard of it, the PLLP is simply teaching people to post, to make a list, to go live, and do a party. Okay, and so you're initiating as their leader. You're not giving them the whole staircase of being like, okay, now we're going to do the PLLP. You're just basically saying, hey, I have an idea. Okay, if someone says, yeah, I want to make cash. Hey, I would love to refer some friends. What do I do? You give them step 1, which is, hey, we're going to make a post. And I actually have in the notes of my phone what I send people. And it's just the basic little first post. It's typed out in the notes of my phone. This is how I get things done. This is how I have a busy life, 7 kids, homeschooling, all the things, right? Sports times, a bunch of kids, and it's crazy. Is I have it saved in the notes of my phone, first post, boop, and I have multiple options of them. And then I just highlight, quick copy, paste. Hey, let me know when you get it done. Tag me. Let's just see what happens. Okay. I love let's just see what happens. Or the little phrase of, I don't know, might be fun. That's a Brooke Hemingway quote. So keep it light, keep it super simple, but just giving them, once they get that little post made, then you're going to basically treat that like your post. Okay. You're going to be like, oh, you got to like, oh, you got to comment. Here's what we're going to say next. Okay. Pop them in a 3-way with me. And then you give them the next list or the next, sorry, the next task, which I would say, get a blank sheet of paper. And all we're going to do is make a list. One side, people that you think might be open to the products, one side, people that you think would be amazing at the business opportunity. And I'm going to teach you what to say and how to reach out to those people. Okay. So you're hand holding. Okay. Some people that you help get started are going to be go-getters and they're going to do it on their own, but not everybody does this. And then you're going to help, like ask them if they'd be willing to do a live. You could do a joint live, do it with them. My friend Margaret came over to my house and we did a live together. So it can look different ways, right? If there's someone that you're like, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do that. Do it inside their party. Okay. Cause the last thing that you do to help them like work through that first set of 4 things is you're going to host a party for them. And you're going to get on the calendar like urgently. Okay. The thing I would say about success in Plexus is the urgency factor. I think that's what has made me good is because I'm always like, okay, next thing, not in a pushy way, but like pushing myself to like get it scheduled. Because if they're open, then I want to be like, hey, I have time on Thursday. What is today? Tuesday. Hey, I have time Thursday night. Was 7 or 7:30 better? Okay. So you're giving them specific things. Oh, you leaving? I have a guest here. Talk amongst yourselves for 1 second. I gotta go say bye to him really fast.
As she is popping back, I would love to hear in the comments, what are some of you guys' takeaways from this call so far? And what do you feel like you're going to start leaning into doing? I know she talked about PLP, or PLP. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But would love to hear kind of your takeaways. And I know for me, hand holding somebody right at the beginning, like helping them post, helping with their conversations, sending screenshots of like, show me your conversations. I want to see why you're ghosted, or those kinds of things have truly helped. But yes, the urgency is key. When somebody has energy is only contained for so long. And so you want to keep that energy high. So urgency is key. Okay, go Megan.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Fun story, but he popped in front of my window, was like, hi, I'm leaving. A good family friend here for a wedding for a nephew. Okay, we were talking about PLLP. Other questions about that? Did we answer those? Okay. Okay.
Megan,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question about that? You had said something about how you start with PLLP, and we also have the silver and 6. So do you transition them into silver and 6, or do you just do PLLP with them, rinse, wash, repeat like that, not just do silver and 6, or how do you incorporate that?
I've had really great results with PLLP because I'm working directly with that person. But I do think that silver and 6 is a great thing if you're like, if you have a team and you want to like help more people, because maybe like in levels 2, 3, 4, 5, 6s, maybe the message isn't getting translated, because we want things that we're doing to be duplicatable. And so I think that there's room for, a challenge to do the silver and 6 and to funnel people into like a group chat. Sometimes I go by intuition. Sometimes I feel like I can get them silver faster if I'm just hand holding them to silver versus a bunch of people in a group. But I don't think there's one right or wrong way to do it. Automating is attractive, but I think you have a smaller percentage of people that will actually do it. But we just did a Silver and Six challenge and I got great feedback from it. And so sometimes I feel like it's almost better for people that are like more invested than like someone that's kind of on the periphery, like, I don't know, versus like, I feel like I can help that person take steps that they wouldn't maybe have otherwise taken. Silver and Six is great for kind of self-motivated people and people that are coming in for the business specifically. Because we have that group of people that are like, hey, tell me what to do. So funneling them into like a challenge group is great. And we can help more people probably with less time on our part, right? But the PLLP, I guess, is just maybe a little bit more geared towards the wholesale customer that comes in that says like they're open to learning, but not necessarily driven by a vision, if that makes sense. So I do both. I do both. And depending on what is going on in your life too, you might just be like, whoa, there's a bunch of people that want to do this. And I can either message 10 of these people every single day, or I could create a chat. So I think it's just working smarter, not harder, but also, what you feel like is the most effective right now. Yeah. The homework has been posted on that challenge group too. So if you guys are like, what was the homework again? It's posted there so you can visually see it. One thing that I have always done when I've done these challenge groups is make a separate, like a pen, paper, or maybe notes in your phone checklist. I don't know. That works better for my brain, because otherwise I'm kind of like, what am I forgetting? What did I not do? And so get it like on a sticky tab or something so you can like check mark it off as you go. Let's see. I think once we've done the PLLP, if I've done that with someone already, and kind of regardless of if they've gone silver or not, I think the next step, yes, is a Silver and Six chat for sure. Amber says, that's how we've had so many rank ups, the in-person sip and sees. Yeah, in-person is so good. I think the beauty of our business is we can do so much online, but there's such value in doing in person. Oh yeah, I was going to actually mention what I do. So when people live close to me, this is my perfect case scenario. If I can have it my way, I like to do 2 in-person events. Now, do I do it like this perfectly every single time? No, but I love to do 2 back-to-back in-person sip and see. So maybe like a Tuesday evening and then like a Saturday morning. Or sometimes like what happened with my friend Brandy is we did, I don't even know what date it was, maybe a Thursday or something, a Thursday evening. She had her living room full of people. And then she had people that couldn't make it that night. And so she messaged those girls, was like, hey, pop over to my house after school or on your way home from work. And so then she did kind of a little pop-up sip and see. I mean, I wasn't able to be at that one, but she just did it on her own and it was great. And she got those other 4 people signed up that day. So it can look different ways and you can think you be creative, but I think sometimes you just have to throw the net kind of wide in the beginning to like catch more people. Cause sometimes, people are highly interested in coming, but Tuesday evening is just like their Bible study night or something. They can't miss it. And then I love to do a follow-up online event. That way it catches anyone that's not local. People, sometimes you have more signups from an online event than the in-person. You just never know. But I like to do that, kind of that series of events to kind of make sure that we've thrown the net wide. Yes. Oh, Julia, did you have another question?
I did. I was just going to ask you, whenever you do events, if you're doing back-to-back events, do you find with your new shares, do you just have them invite to your events instead of hosting their own, or do you still find it super important to host their own event separate than the ones that you're doing? Does that make sense?
Online or in person?
In person?
Well, if I have a level 1 that wants to share, we'll do an in-person event at her house or wherever they want to host it. So yeah, I mean, if you can't, you can't think in terms of like always what's most efficient, because like what's most efficient is if I host something at my house, everyone just comes. But what I've realized is like, unless people are like 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes away, they're not driving. Or you'll get a bigger turnout if you like go to them. And so that's typically, I feel like, the most effective. Same with online events. I mean, sometimes we'll do a group event, or like we have our Thursday messenger events. Those are great. But I feel like for launch events, they're always better if they're personal, because they have a personal investment in like, oh shoot, I've got to get some people in this. I've got to And so I always try to give a number, like, let's get 7 to 10 yeses. Like, let's message and invite people until you get 7 to 10 yeses. And sometimes, someone can message 30 people and 28 of them respond back and say, yeah. But then there's other people that message 30 people and like they maybe have gotten 2 replies. So not so you'll do some events and no event is won't. Every event is effective and it's important. And sometimes I've hosted events for people who are like, oh my word, like only 1 person came or only 4 people came. But I'm like, you had 100% sign up rate. So you can't always judge it by that. Also, I think even if nobody shows up, you're with that new level 1 and you can make a post, you can go live, you can help them get, back office stuff. They're like, there's always something to do and to work on. And it's never a loss. Because a lot of times, like in network marketing, you don't gauge success by, oh, there was 25 people in the room. Typically, our sippencies have been very small and like small groups of people. But when you think about networks, like every person has a network. And so if there were 3 people that came to the event, you think about them sharing with their network, potentially, so. Oh, Lisa, you had a question, but it wasn't clear. It was at the beginning when you said, can you explain a little better? Remind me what I was saying. I don't remember.
Okay, sorry, couldn't figure out how to make my screen bigger. No, I had just asked about what you meant about the 3 diamond legs. I was a little confused, but somebody answered it in the chat. They said to
Oh,
have
okay.
3 level 1 diamonds under you. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. But sometimes what happens is you sign up like a really amazing leader. Sometimes you don't even know that they're an amazing leader, but they are. Or maybe those are seeds that are in them, right? And so sometimes what happens is like that diamond develops, gems, jewels, and diamonds. So you have like this huge long leg, this amazing leg of, you know, 10, 15 jewels or diamonds, but it's on one leg. That's not um that's not the same as having like separate legs. So you want your table to be stable in the sense of not just one leg where it's kind of lopsided in that way and where you're always having to like work on your outside leg. So if you have 3 separate diamond legs, or I would say 6 to 8 separate jewel legs, that's a really good stable. That's a lot of stability there. Jenny asks, how do you cast vision with your newbies who might be tiptoeing into the business or hesitant but curious? That's a great question. I think asking them, Keith Callahan says, every time you meet with a leader or even just a potential, someone that is potentially interested in the business, is find out what they want and why. Every time you talk to them, he says, every time you talk to them, ask them what they want and why. And I think that with people that are like maybe open to it, we have to find out like what their dreams are. Like, and when I'm talking to someone, I ask them specifically like, okay, well, tell me what interests you. Because I mean, I can share like why I started and what interested me and like all the little pivots and pieces of my story, but that's not relevant necessarily to them. Like I want to hear what interests them, what questions they have, what fears they have, and what their bigger overarching goal would be, and how much money they would want to make. And then sometimes I even ask like, okay, now get crazy for a minute. What would be like the crazy amount of money that you would love to bring in from an opportunity like Plexus? So have them detail that for you. I love asking those questions because you, as the other person on the end of the call, just has to listen and take notes and ask more questions. But that's always I feel like a really easy way to lead or kind of direct a call. You don't have to have a whole lot of stuff pre-planned, just some questions that they can answer. Do you have location suggestions if they don't want to do it at their house? And it's getting dark to do it at evenings in the park. Yeah, we've done plenty of park sip and sees. We've done it outside on the porch before. Coffee shops. Sometimes Panera will have like a side room or like a lunch place. Hey, babe. But yeah, I think finding locally, like what availability there is. I mean, we've used local churches before, hotel rooms, or, like rented rooms at hotels. But usually there's places that will host for a minimum cost or, for free, which is always nice. Oh, the library. Yep. So yeah, network with some of your locals to see, what might be available. That would be an easy gathering place. And it doesn't have to be 100% private. Sometimes, Angie and Berzetti, even at the Mexican restaurant, she'll bring like her little plexus sign and have like a little display set up at one of the booths, and then they'll have a few booths. So if you have like a corner of a room or something like that, that works too, depending on how large your group is also. Yeah, great questions. Does anyone have anything? We have 7 minutes left. Does anyone have anything that they want to get coached on? Something that they're struggling with, or a fear that they're having, or just a struggle, anything like that?
I can kind of finish commenting what I had asked about with the vision casting. Because I feel like I get on the phone with people who would like more info about the business. They see the business post, they want to know what this looks like. And so we talk on the phone. And in that, I feel like I shrink down to their level because they're like, well, maybe I'm kind of, it's like the hesitant, curious. Maybe I would just try it for a month. It's like, I think I'm scared to commit, say like 6 months, like give it a shot. Like this has to be long-term focus if you want big growth. But I shrink down to being like, or you can get your groceries covered, even with asking them. Because most people, when they start talking on the phone, it's like, oh, even an extra $300 to $500 is great. That's kind of what because they don't dream big either. And so then I kind of come down to their level. So I'm struggling to be like, cast this big vision and say it requires this big commitment and scaring them away versus I'm going to meet you where you're at and want to help you get what you're looking for to start, while also still casting that big vision. That's where I'm like struggling with the two ends.
Do you ever use third-party tools like videos or calls?
Sometimes at the beginning, if it's somebody I know, I'll try to get on the phone first. But if it's somebody I don't know that well, sometimes I'll invite them for sure to like a Sunday night call or send a recording of that. But yeah,
So
maybe.
have you seen Marianne Anderson's system that she does with people when they're interested in the business?
Not her system. I don't think so.
Okay. It's super simple, but she sends, so when she has someone like, hey, I'm interested in making income with, tell me more about what you're doing. She'll send them Jessica Heffley's new, I don't even like testimony video. Have you seen that? It's
Yeah,
like
the 6 minute. Yeah.
highly emotional, like feely, right? So she'll send that first. And then she'll be like, hey, I really want to hop on a call with you. Watch this little video first. This is, I want you to watch what this opportunity can create for people. So she'll send that. And then she sends her little, I don't know if it's like 4 minutes, like a little bit more of the nitty gritty details. And so she'll be like, hey, so schedule the call and be like, hey, real quick, before we hop on together, I want you to watch this really fast. So that gives more like nuts and bolts. It's not like super specific on comp plan, but it's a little bit more, nitty gritty details. And then she hops on the phone with them. So I can pop that. There's a whole write-up on it with her verbiage and everything, but even just having some ideas in the back of your mind, like, ooh, maybe next time before I hop on the phone with them, I need to let a third-party tool or 2 third-party tools do some vision casting for me. Because it's hard when you're on a call to be like, you have no idea. Like for me, I could list out so many things, but I feel like that's kind of unrelatable to people. They need to see it. They need to either be in a room somewhere where they can hear the stories, or they can listen or watch a little video that's in a succinct way able to vision cast quickly for them. Does that feel?
Yeah, I think that's helpful because otherwise you're kind of just doing Q&A on the phone, and it's like you don't want it to keep going for 40 minutes without ever getting to this like what this could be type of conversation. So I think that is helpful for sure.
Yeah. And are these people typically already on the products or not yet?
Most of them not yet.
Okay. So usually my action on the end of that call would be like, hey, depending on what they're saying, right? Sometimes if there's a little bit of like, I don't know, my goal is to at least get them signed up products and get them started on a health journey. And so sometimes if there's a little bit of hesitancy, I'll just say, hey, let's get you started. Let's get you experiencing these products. And I will help you as we go. And then I will go into that PLLP with them.
Okay.
And I'm very hands-on with them. And if they're going to take the ball and run with it, that's fantastic. That's always our goal, right? Versus just signing them up and then just putting them into like an automated system, like Project Broadcast is going to do the rest for me, so I do feel like that. And I think there's something with intention, communication, friendship, like just the hands-on piece, the love, maybe it's just the love of like willing to expend my energy and time to help someone be successful and find their niche, their little path. Also, Genevieve shared some statistics from the stage. Was that convention? Maybe it was 2 times ago. I don't remember, but it was a high percentage of people that said the study was like, I don't know, it was like 70%. It was a high percentage of people. If they knew they could make $300 in their first 90 days in network marketing, they would say yes. So I think that's so interesting because it wasn't just like a side business or something like that, but like, because network marketing is it feels very personal, right? Because where it's us being willing to stick our neck out and share with people. Let's see. What do you do when they kind of try it, get discouraged and say it's not for me with some sort of excuse as to why? I usually know it's because they're discouraged or scared, but hesitate to press in. And again, this is someone that's probably starting just for product. So I think that's our key to, as much as we can, double down on helping them learn, helping them earn income right away, and troubleshoot on the product so that they have a good experience. And I think, so I feel like I've learned more of this instead of being like, okay, no worries, have a great day. Being curious, like being curious and planting a little seed, or like kind of like thinking of slipping in a little, not an irritant, that's not the right word, but like when you think of a little clam where something has to like penetrate the shell for the pearl to grow. And so we're planting that little seed in the clam in order for the pearl to grow. Now, will it always grow? Well, maybe not, but we've at least shared our perspective, because what's it going to hurt if their foot is already halfway out the door? They're not going to be like offended, and like we're not going to alter the potential for the worst if their foot's already halfway out the door. So I think it's important, and I see this with people on my team that are so good at communicating with people, and it's like the love comes through, So when someone's discouraged, do you want someone to like, are you actually looking for someone to get in the pit and wallow with you, or actually be like, hey, snap out of it. I'm here to help you get your goals, in a loving, kind way. But to be that person, to be the coach and the mentor, the encourager, to be like, hey, don't quit yet. You're not even through your first 90 days. I don't think you should give it up yet. Now, can we control people? No. Will they still make their own decisions? Yes. But I do think that we have more influence than we give ourselves credit for. And when we're lovingly confronting maybe their inconsistency, or, even just asking curious questions. I love asking, hey, how much product do you have left? Because usually they haven't been consistent. They have not been consistent. They're not going to see results if they're not consistent. And so I think that, yeah, if they're discouraged, I'll try to encourage them and plug them into some sort of like accountability or consistency, like our 3-day reset challenge or the detox challenge coming up, right? So if they can be part of something, I think it's helpful. Also, if you can hop on the phone, I'm horrible at this, but if you can hop on the phone with someone that is discouraged, it's usually not Plexus products. It's usually like the straw that broke the camel's back. And it's like, oh, they have this whole laundry list and they're like, oh yeah, and I'm going to cancel my subscription. But once you can talk through it, they're like, well, yeah, maybe I didn't need to give it another month. Like maybe I shouldn't give up yet, So, For the business, do you see people put up a post and then say they don't want to keep trying? Sometimes, but sometimes I just have to remind them that people start with different, people come into the network marketing with different skills and different, like a wide variety of influence. And some people surprise themselves with influence. I had one of my sweet friends that I literally have talked to for 4 years. I met her because our kids play sports, another homeschool mom. But I had just had my baby, so we were chatting out in the foyer. And anyways, have chatted about Plexus for literally 4 years. She just started at the end of August, and we were sitting at a ball game last night. She's like, I'm so surprised. She's like, I'm shocked with these people because she's helped, I think, 6 people get started so far. And she's really busy. So it's more of like she'll post and then funnel people to me, or she'll have conversations in person and be like, hey, 3-way message. And so we're just tag teaming like that, right? But she's like, I'm shocked at some of these people. And she goes, they trust me. She goes, they trust me. I'm like, I know, Jody, you're influential. You didn't know that, but newsflash. And so sometimes people are surprised with their influence. And then I think other times it's not that people are surprised by not that they don't have influence, but it might be just an awareness of like, okay, you've got to add value. People need to trust you. People have to see. Sometimes people have to see posts for a while before they're willing to, reach out or commit. And I think it goes back to some people will have to work harder to build a network first before or while they're growing something like this. But it's not impossible. I like to plug people into people that have taken longer because they didn't have a big network. Brittany Howard comes to mind, and also I'm pretty sure Robin Sullivan. She at least took a long time to go diamond, but I think it might have been because of a small network or something like that. So, but it's helping them intentionally network and add value, and sometimes people have more influence in person than actually online. And so sometimes it's you as the leader having the intuition to be like, what do you think would be more effective, online or in person? And I've actually had people tell me, actually, it would be better if I do it online because I don't know anyone here. Like they're in a new area, or maybe they're they have the idea that a lot of people in their area do Plexus already. So yeah, okay. Any other quick questions? Let me put this on gallery view so I can see well. There you are. It's so funny to put it on speaker view because I only see one face. So it's kind of distracting, and you're like, who else is on and who else has their cameras on that's, tracking. Okay. Power hours. Don't forget, my team is hosting those every single day, Monday through Saturdays in the month of October. So you never have to work alone or by yourself. We're just asking that you come prepared for those power hours. I know sometimes newer people pop on and they're like, what is going on? Y'all are just on here by yourself. I mean, you're just quiet and nobody's saying anything. Sometimes we host power hours where it's, guided, and we're like 5 minutes, do happy birthdays. The next 10 minutes, we're going to do follow-ups. This is more like, bring your lists, bring your, your booklets and what you need to work on, and we'll just pop on, throw some music on and work together. And pipe in if you have questions or a stuck conversation, but mostly it's just a work together time. I had the vision for it when I was in Hawaii, like, what if we did like a prayer and power hour time? But people are coming prepared to the call. Preparation, prayer, and power hour. Okay. Any other quick things? All right. Homework. We'll work on your homework. Knock it out of the park. And I cannot wait to see what this month brings. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge, you guys. I have people coming back that were my customers previously, and they're like, hey, detox challenge. If you have not made that detox challenge post, go make it. I don't know maybe it was the night I posted it. I don't know. Or the fact that I'd done like a bunch of posts that day. But it worked. It brought these conversations out of the blue. Now, I've only signed a few of them, but it's created more conversations with people. I know they're interested and they're watching. So anyways, so proud of you guys. Keep up the great work. You're doing work that a lot of people won't do. And this is so rewarding, and the work is truly worth it. So I'll leave you guys with that today. All right. Have a great day. Rest of the day, you guys. Thanks for popping on.